hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to the It's Great When Muslims Tell the Truth video series. In this episode, we will look at two famous Islamic figures, Aseem al-Hakim and Muhammad Hijab. Aseem al-Hakim is a Saudi Arabia Islamic cleric and have been the Imam of Jeddah for 20 years. As such, his qualifications in Islamic knowledge is undeniable. Let's take a look at a video clip where he talks about the status of non-Muslims when Islam conquered a particular country.
The other type of jihad is the one that everyone trying to hide. And it's called jihadut talab. And this means that the jihad of pursuing, running after. And this jihad was at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. But this jihad cannot be accomplished, cannot take place unless the state of the Muslims is strong. That is why when Muslims go and conquer the adjacent country, what do? We kill them all? No. The Prophet says, the first thing you do is call them to Islam. If they accept it, leave them. Khalas, they're Muslims. We go. We don't want your country. We don't want your land. We don't want your wealth. If they refuse, then tell them Allah obliged upon you to pay taxation, jizya. So we take jizya. And in return, when enemy comes and attack your country, you don't fight. We Muslims protect you. If they refuse, then we have to fight. And if we fight you, then we capture you, you become our slaves, and we take your land, and you take because you refuse, I give you two good options.
It is quite shocking to hear, isn't it? How is that a good two options? Either pay tax, or die. I am sure most people is okay to pay taxes to the new government, but to be put to death just because of not paying taxes is insane. Notice that he is giving a sermon in a closed area, in a mosque where only Muslims are there. This is typical in every mosques. They tend to preach Islam as it is, because they know, Muslims will have no choice but to obey, and no criticism will be given by others. So, does what he said have any basis in Islam at all? Let's investigate this together. Surah at-Tawbah verse 29 reads, "Fight those who do not believe in Allah and the Last Day, nor comply with what Allah and His Messenger have forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth from among those who were given the scripture, until they pay the jizya, willingly submitting, fully humbled." So from this verse, we see that the command to Muslim is for them to fight the following people. 1. Those who disbelieve in Allah and Last Day. 2. Those who does not comply with what Islam has forbidden. 3. Those who does not embrace Islam. So Allah commanded Muslims to fight these people, who are basically any non-Muslims, until the people convert to Islam, or pay the jizya, or protection money to the Muslim conqueror. So if the people refuse to convert to Islam and refuse to pay jizya, then they will be in trouble. That is the fate of non-Muslims if Muslims conquered their country. So based on this verse of Quran, we know Aseem is telling the truth. The debatable part of this verse is the word fight. But we all know what it usually means, since even Aseem himself gave the hint what fight is. The next Islamic figure is a famous one. Most of ex-Muslims know him. His name is Muhammad Hijab. Based on what I can find in Google, his qualifications are applied theology in University of Oxford, Islamic studies in SOAS University London, history and politics in Queen Mary University of London. So, definitely he is a well-versed Islamic scholar and figure. Hijab has been notorious in the ex-Muslim and Christianity world, since his approach is often aggressive, but what I like about him is he sometimes tells the truth about Islam and his eagerness to do the dawah. So let's watch a clip together, where Hijab is debating on the streets.
And this is going to sound quite scary for you right now, yeah? The reason why it's haram to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old is not found in the Quran whatsoever. It's found in the Sunnah, and in fact, if you look just at the Quran, you will get the indication that you can have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. And I'll tell you why. And I'll give you, hold on. I'm saying this and I'm going to back it up with evidences. Let me repeat my point. We both agree that it's haram and it's wrong to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old. Okay, good. My premise today, my thesis today is as follows. The reason why it's haram to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old is not found in the Quran at all, but is in fact found in the Sunnah. Okay, and listen, if you just read the Quran, it is halal, it would be halal to have sexual intercourse with a 5-year-old.
As a Quranist back then, I also was surprised that Quran's indication of marriageable age for women is upon puberty. I have studied the Quran way before this, and I know what Hijab said is true. If a Muslim only refers to Quran, then one can marry a girl who has just reached puberty. It is one of the few topics that troubled me as a Quranist back then. Of course, I am aware of the excuses, or rebuttal, where Quranist or even normal Muslim would quote Surah An-Nisa, verse 6. It reads, "And test the orphans, in their abilities, until they reach marriageable age. Then if you perceive in them sound judgment, release their property to them." Notice again, the translation has bracketed words in them. It is added due to obvious reasons. The Arabic form only says, "Test the orphans until they reach marriageable age." But Quran did not specify the exact age, not even a ballpark figure. Then the verse says, "Then if you perceive in them sound judgment, release their property to them." If you read the verse before and after, the context of this verse is inheritance. And the word rushdan here translated loosely as sound judgment, but if you find other verses that use the same word, you will know that this word actually means knowing right and wrong. Indeed, even a 9-year-old girl already knows what's right and what's wrong, and Quran says to give them their inheritance property, and she is also allowed to get married. The second evidence of what Hijab said is another verse in Surah At-Talaq, verse 4. It reads, "As for your women past the age of menstruation, in case you do not know, their waiting period is 3 months, and those who have not menstruated as well." The verse context is on the topic of divorce. At-Talaq is Arabic for divorce. So the quoted verse tells Muslims to wait for a divorced woman before marrying her. The verse detailed that the waiting term is 3 months, for women past the age of menstruation and those who have not menstruated. As everyone in the world know, most women start menstruating at the age of 8 to 13. So why is this verse talking about divorce for girls of age 8 to 13? You know it, and I know it, but only the Muslims will deny. So, this is great, because Hijab also is telling the truth about the Quran. In his eagerness to condemn the Quranist movement, he inadvertently dissed the Quran, which is supposed to be divine revelation. This means, the Quran supports child marriage. Thank you Aseem and Hijab, you both have told the truth about Islam and we are grateful. That's all for this episode. I hope to see you again in the next episode of It's Great When Muslims Tell the Truth. If you like this video, consider to like, share, subscribe or give the video a super thanks. Thank you and have a nice day.